welcome. Today in our pattern drafting series, we are going to be looking at how to create a shirred cuff. Now this is a great detail as always. You can see the picture of what it looks like right next to me here. And what we're going to be doing is using our pattern drafted block, which is bespoke to you. And then we're going to change that block so that we can accommodate our beautiful little shirred detail. Now obviously we're looking at this at the base of the sleeve because we're looking at cuffs in today's video and in today's mini series, but you could obviously change that location as to where you want the shirring on your sleeve at any point. So it could be down at the cuff, it could be 3/4 of the way up, it could be right up at the top, and that's a complete design choice which you can make. You're going to need your standard pattern drafting tools, which are listed right next to me here. So go and grab those, and obviously what you're seeing in the screen in front of you is going to be my sleeve block right here, which will look different to yours, and that's totally fine. That's exactly what we'd expect as part of this course. In today's video, I am styling the patina blouse by Friday Pattern Company. This is a great pattern with some lovely details and really popular within the sewing community. We'll link that pattern below because we sell it here at Minerva. And I've actually made it in our Minerva exclusive fabric, which is a viscose challis, so beautiful sort of drapey fabric. And this is our Tropical Days fabric. Again, we'll link it in the video below so you can grab yourself the fabric if you want to. All right, let's get straight on into our pattern drafting series. So in front of me here, I've got my own sleeve block, and what I'm wanting to do is to add a sort of shirring detail cuff down at the very bottom of the sleeve down here. Now the volume on our block is quite constrained. So the block of the sleeve is the standard block and it's a fitted block. So everything's kind of fitting our arms like really quite nicely and tightly. Obviously at the bottom, it does have a little bit of space at the bottom in terms of the little bit of ease. It's not really tight against the cuff. So what I'm going to do in order to demonstrate this example, the shirring, is I'm actually going to start off by extending the sides just to give a little bit more volume to our sleeve. As usual in this series, I'm going to be using a nice sharp fat marker pen so you can see it in the video above really clearly on your screens. However, if you're working at home, don't forget that you want to be using a really nice sharp pencil so you get it as accurate as you can, and also so you can rub it out in case you make any mistakes. The first thing I'm going to do is just extend the base of the sleeve. Just extend that line out. And then very simply, I'm just going to draw a line from the back of the sleeve head all the way down to the sleeve, and also from the front of the sleeve head all the way down to the base of the sleeve, making sure that the line runs parallel with the base of the sleeve. Now at the very bottom of the sleeve, I am going to want to allow additional fabric so I can turn the base of the sleeve under and then under again to create a nice, neat, smooth finish. So just draw a line at the base of the sleeve that is 1.5 centimeters offset from the original sleeve base. And then another one at 1.5 centimeters offset from that line. And that just gives us enough volume to turn under and under again. Fabulous. Okay, so now we need to decide the location of our shirred cuff. We don't want it to be right at the very bottom of the cuff, simply because that's going to look a little bit odd. I want to allow like a little bit of a frill at the base of the cuff so we get a nice little accent. We don't need to add loads of lines of shirred elastic. I think just 3 lines is sufficient, and I'll do that in today's video. At home you may want to explore doing more lines to create a more dramatic effect, or I think less lines would look a bit odd, to be honest. So I think 3 is a good number as a minimum. All I'm going to do now is mark 3 lines for my shirred stitching. So the first one's going to be 5 centimeters offset from the original sleeve base. And then the next one is just going to be 6 centimeters and then 7 centimeters. So they're just 1 centimeter apart. Mark those points on the other side of the sleeve. So that's 5, 6 and 7. And then just dash out those lines so you've got it as a nice guide. Wonderful. Go grab some tracing paper and we'll create our pattern piece next. We don't need to add a seam allowance to the bottom because we've already allowed enough volume, extra volume down here for the finish of the cuff, which so we're turning it under and then under again. So just draw a nice straight line along the bottom down there. We do need to add a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance to the side seams of the sleeve. It's creating a really nice square shape, isn't it, this one? Very simple. Dot out your sleeve head as usual for the top of your sleeve. And then once that's completed, just draw in a smooth curve. This is all at 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. Don't forget to add in your notches, one for the front and the middle and the back. Now then, in terms of annotating what's going on down here, I definitely think we just want to mark in the fold line. And then I'm only just going to add a little notch for where the base of the sleeve is, just so that we've got that as a nice reference. And now with our shirring lines, it's completely up to you how you want to annotate your pattern piece when you get onto your fabric. You may just want to add little notches to show where the shirring lines are. I'm going to dash this out on my pattern piece just so it's really obvious when I come to sew it. So dash out those 3 shirring lines if you want to on your pattern piece. Annotate those 2 things so that you remember what they are, fold line and the shirring lines. It will come as no surprise to you that our grain line is running perpendicular to the base of the sleeve. So this is our shirred cuff and we're going to cut 2 of this particular pattern piece. So now we've created our pattern piece, we're going to go and cut that out of calico, and then I'm going to sew it up for you just so that you can see the visual effect of this pattern drafting technique. So let's go and do that together now. Okay, so we've got the right side of our garment facing up, the right side of the sleeve facing up, and the very first thing I'm going to do is just to prepare and sew the 3 shirred lines. Now in this video we are just showing you pattern drafting techniques. If you want to understand more about your shirring techniques, you can refer to Joe's amazing video all about shirring and how to do that in a lot more detail on our Minerva YouTube channel, and we'll pop a link below in the comments for how to see that if you'd like more detail about shirring. But for us, we're just going to shear along these 3 lines now. So when you're shirring, your elastic is on your bobbin, so you hand wind that up in your bobbin as you're setting up your sewing machine to shear. What you need to do is to put your shirring elastic into the bobbin, and then you just have your standard thread on the top as the real thread. Use a straight stitch, a big long straight stitch, so take it up to 5mm length or as high as it will go for you. Also, it helps for the tension of the machine to also be as high as possible. So just remember high and high, high stitch length, high tension. However, it's worth saying that you need to play about with your machine just to work out what really works for you. You can see now that we've got some beautiful shirring here, haven't we? It's just stretching out really nicely. I've obviously done it in contrasting thread so you can see it really clearly. And on the underside, there's just a nice long line of elastic. Okay, so that is looking really cute now. This is the right side facing up. And what we're going to do now is just fold it in half and pin along the length of the arm. Make sure you change your settings on your machine back to your standard machine settings, and then let's sew that using a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. Finish off that seam however you want. Because this is just a toile, I'm just going to go and press that open next. Wonderful. The next thing we're going to do is that we want to just make this cuff detail really nice at the very bottom. So we're going to fold along our fold line, which for me was 1.5 centimetres from the raw edge. So fold up to, and can you see there's that little notch right there? So fold that up at that point, and you can pin it in place if you want to. Just pop a few holding pins around. And we're folding it with the wrong sides together. Press that in place all the way around the cuff. And then we just want to turn it under 1.5 centimetres again, and just pin in place as you work your way around the cuff. Just iron that in place if you want to before you stitch it down. Wonderful, so here's our lovely little sleeve cuff coming together nicely. We've folded this over nicely, and all we want to do now is just sew a line of stitches about 2mm away from this folded edge here. We want to sew it, however, with the right side facing up on our machine so that we're getting our nice row of even stitches from our reel of thread on the outside of the garment, on the right side of the garment. Beautiful. So you can see that on the inside we've just sewn that line of stitches a couple of millimeters from the folded edge. Now the shirring on my sleeve feels quite nice actually. If I put my arm in, it just feels like it's gently gathered around my cuff quite nicely already. The tension on my sewing machine has worked out really well. If you're struggling with that and the shirring just isn't looking like quite as tight as you want it to, just go and grab your iron and turn it up as high as it will go for steam, and then basically just very gently hover your iron over that sheared area and then just steam it. And you can see, if the steam's not too much for the camera, that that it has just gone and shrunk down even tighter because the steam has just affected the elastic. And there we have it, a really cute little shirred cuff. That just looks so nice, and in calico obviously it's holding its shape quite nicely, isn't it, as part of the cuff down here. If it was a looser fabric, like the fabric I'm wearing on my top today, our Minerva exclusive viscose challis, then it would be a much more sort of drapey as a cuff, but that's quite a dramatic finish really, isn't it? I've seen quite a lot of sleeves that also have a lot more shirring kind of all the way up, and that has just a kind of tighter aesthetic around the base of the sleeve all the way around. If you lowered it and brought it down again, it would have more of a kind of neat finished aesthetic at the cuff, but I quite like that little frill. It looks very romantic and cute. I hope you really enjoy using that technique at home, and you don't forget that if you've got a pattern that has quite a baggy cuff or one that you don't really like at the base of the sleeve, you can just add this retrospectively at the end of your, at the end of the project. I've done that on a number of different projects. I love to add shirring details just to sort of cinch in different aspects of the design, particularly the waist and also the cuffs. It's a really effective and quick and easy way to just add a little bit of shape to your garment. As always here at Minerva, we love to hear from our maker community, so please do feel free to comment and add your thoughts below. So thank you for joining me today. I've been Izzy at Minerva. I'll see you next week as we continue our pattern drafting mini-series all about cuffs. Have a good week.